Hey everybody, welcome back to American History with Mr. Finn. We are looking at the American Civil War, and the last time we were in class on this topic, the South had tried to attack the North, and at Antietam, the bloodiest single day of fighting in the war. That battle lasted a couple days, but the North is going to kill a lot of Southern troops. The problem, as we said, is the South didn't have people to replace those soldiers, whereas the North had a much higher population. And we're going to look at one of the things that the North does to get more people into the military. That's where we're at today. But first, let me get a little bit further into the war, because Antietam is going to happen, and that's when, after Antietam, Robert E. Lee takes his army, the Confederates, and marches them back south. So that was, again, the last time the South tried to attack the North. From that point now, let's talk about Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln is still, he doesn't want this war. The longer that it's going on, the less popular he is getting. So Abraham Lincoln doesn't want this to continue, so he starts to look for generals who can finally get the job done, not McClellan. So here's basically the rundown of events to get to where we need to today. Lincoln is going to put a couple of generals in charge. They're not quiz generals. General Hooker is one, General Ambrose Burnside is one. There's the names themselves for you are not going to be on quizzes. But the important thing to understand is what is happening. And Lincoln is looking for different generals to get the job done. So, the Union, meaning the North, Abraham Lincoln, all these guys. Keep. Union, keeps, because they keep doing it. Keeps attacking. Keeps attacking, yeah. Keeps attacking Richmond. Remember, Richmond is the capital of the Confederacy, and if you take the capital, then you technically are winning the war because their capital of their nation has been taken over. So the Union continues to attack, and they always have more men. They always have more people, more stuff, more everything, but they keep losing. The South, the Confederacy, Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, those guys are just better generals. And so even with less men, they are able to defeat the Union armies over and over and over again. So what is happening is basically this. The Union keeps attacking Richmond, again, over and over and over again. Going to here. The Confederates keep winning. So what ends up happening is we have this. A stalemate. A stalemate is, think of it as, the war is stuck. Stalemate. Nobody winning. Nobody is winning the war. It's a stalemate. It's stuck. The North is trying. The South is beating them. But the South isn't attacking the North anymore, so the war is not going that direction. But yet the Union is not winning anything, so it's just stuck. The war is stuck. We are in a stalemate. Lincoln is growing frustrated. Lincoln is actually having a lot of different people start to, whisper in his ear, like, maybe we should just let them go. Maybe we should recognize them as a country. Maybe maybe this, maybe that. We don't want to keep having all these people die. All these people are dying, Mr. Lincoln, because this war is continuing to go on. But Lincoln was not going to let this country split. He just was not going to let it. He just am I going to be the president who allowed the United States of America to collapse, to split into, he was not going to let that happen. So he is going to continue to try, but then he takes increasingly larger steps that increase his power, and a lot of other people are like, whoa, Lincoln is getting, he's almost becoming like a dictator. Here's the reason why. Some of the things that he does, and this is where we end today. The first draft. A draft is where you force, underline word, people to be in the military. We've had other drafts in American history where you are forcing people to be in the military, but this is the first one. So you can imagine if you're just sitting there and you get a letter saying, hey, you need to report to duty on this day, you are now part of the military. You didn't want to be, too bad. You've been drafted into the military. So that's one thing. So people are like, the people don't like that. Lincoln also, what does he do? He does this. He does censorship of newspapers. Censorship means that he is not allowing these newspapers to publish or write anything negative about the war. If you know anything about this, this violates the First Amendment. Whoops. Make sure I spell it right. I'm writing fast. Big words. The First Amendment. First, freedom of speech. A lot there, but in case you don't know. The First Amendment is the freedom of speech. If you have government class or have had it, you would probably know that already, but if you didn't, I'm just writing it here. So the First Amendment is the freedom of speech, freedom of religion, stuff like that. And so if Abraham Lincoln is saying to a newspaper, you're not allowed to publish anything bad, he's not allowing them to, he's violating the First Amendment. Something else he does. People that are speaking out against the war, speaking out against him, speaking out about things that are going on, are going to be, he imprisons 13,000 Americans. And this is the important part. Without a trial. Which is crazy if you think about it. Because when you are arrested or when you commit a crime or you are in jail or prison, you are, certain things you've probably seen on different TV shows, but you have the right to an attorney, you have, a right to a trial by your peers and all this other stuff. Well, not according to Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln imprisons 13,000 Americans without trial. So these are some pretty big steps that he is taking that are going to rub people the wrong way on both sides. On his side, on the other side, Republicans, Democrats, all the like. You are going to have some people disagreeing. You have a lot of people who do agree that he must do what he has to do to end the war, but you're violating the First Amendment, you're imprisoning Americans without trial, you're instituting a draft. These are big steps, and Abraham Lincoln's getting a lot of power, and the national government itself is getting a lot of power. On that note, please number on your paper 1 to 5. We got a quiz. I'll even do it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's begin, shall we? Number 1. I'm not doing Civil War stuff. I'll go back a little bit. Oh, went right to the beginning of the chapter. All right. Ooh, I love this question. Number 1. What is the term? That means it was America's God-given right to stretch from sea to shining sea, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. It was a journalistic term. It became a political platform. This term, number 1, means to. It was. I don't want to use. I almost gave away one of the words to it. It was our right as America to expand all the way to the Pacific. I feel like this question was on the last one. I'll tweak it for number 2. Number 2. The question is not going to be one of the two immigrant groups in our first wave of immigration. However, I will tell you them. The Irish and the Germans were in our first wave of immigration. In order not to have the same question. Number two is the Irish came to America because of what tragic event that took place in Ireland? For number two, why did the Irish primarily come to America? There was a big event that was happening in Ireland, and it caused people to leave Ireland and come to America. I don't know if I did anything on that one. Let's see. Nothing on this page. It's the end of the chapter. I did do this one. All right. We talked about this guy. In fact, you had an assignment about this guy. Number three. Who is, might be easier than, this is probably the easiest question because you can actually figure this out very easily. But number three, who is the president who's on the $20 bill? He was the president during the Trail of Tears. But if you know it, you know it. If not, that's an easy one to find. Number three, who is the president on the $20 bill? All right. Did I term? I don't know if I did. But I definitely don't want to give you any one that I didn't do. All right. Ooh, I like this one. Number four. He is considered by most to be the most intelligent or brilliant of all the founding fathers. He was Treasury Secretary for George Washington. There was a play that was on Broadway, probably still is actually, about this founding father. But again, how we usually talk about him in our classes, he's generally considered the most intelligent or brilliant of the founding fathers for number four. Who is that founding father? End of chapter. Man, I feel like we had this one too. So I'm going to just keep going back. Aha! I know we haven't had this one in a while, if at all. So, number five. What did the British go to Lexington and Concord to find? Why were the British going to Lexington and Concord before the Revolution? And if you remember, at Lexington and Concord is where the shot heard around the world was. That was the spark of the American Revolution. But again, why did the British go there in the first place? They were looking for something. Give you that hint. Anyway, give me your notes. Give me your quiz. Make sure it's today for attendance and participation purposes. And I will see you next class.